So I've gone ahead and written down every 3D Mario game.
Yeah.
And you and I, we're going to go one by one and say, is Astro Bot better than this game?
Okay.
This is what we're going to do.
Oh, no.
Super Mario 64, we're going to go chronological order.
I think it's better. Astro Bot is better.
So this game, I think like you had to be there. Like if you grew up with Mario 64, like I did, like I would say that game is superior to Astro Bot. But I completely understand why if you were a bit younger, and you were like, yeah, this game's clunky. This game,
I didn't play this game until I was like, it was like 2 years ago.
So I think this is like a generation gap.
Generation gap.
So I think so for me,
no,
Mario 64 is better.
Yeah, because you grew up playing this game for like
But
years.
I totally understand the opposite point of view. Super Mario Sunshine.
Astro Bot is
Astro
better.
Bot is a million times better.
I know you guys are going to come after us.
Are they really?
We don't like Sunshine.
No.
You don't like us.
Guess what? Most people don't.
We have bad taste in games, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Astro Bot is better than Mario Sunshine.
Yes. Super Mario Galaxy.
No.
Now, this is a challenging one.
I don't think it is.
So Galaxy is better.
Galaxy is better. I think Galaxy has a better, actually, Astro Bot has a lot of similarities to Galaxy.
Right. These next couple of games are a lot of similarities.
there is some similarities, but I would say Galaxy was the originators of that style and vibe, and just had like more inventive gameplay. I would say gravity. Like I really liked all that stuff.
I forget. Do you prefer Galaxy 1 or 2?
Galaxy 2.
You prefer Galaxy 2?
I do.
I do as well.
Because Yoshi.
And
I love Yoshi.
I'm going to say that Astro Bot is better than the original Super Mario Galaxy.
Yes.
Well, no, you just said the opposite. Astro Bot is better.
I think Galaxy.
You think Galaxy 1 is better?
The first and the second Galaxy, I do think those games are better than Astro Bot.
I think Astro Bot is better than Galaxy 1, not better than Galaxy 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, something about Galaxy 1 that I didn't click with it the same way a lot of people did, but Galaxy 2 I think is just like a big step up in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
I think also like looking, it was so made for all that pointer stuff has not held up well over the years. That stuff that you need the Wii for, the waggling and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I just go with Astro Bot for Galaxy over Galaxy 1, but not Galaxy 2.
Okay, that's
Super
fair.
Mario 3D Land on the 3DS.
I think Astro Bot's better than 3D Land.
I agree.
3D Land's a little bland. Out of all the 3D Mario games, I wouldn't say that one is the most sort of...
It's just a smaller in scope game.
Yeah.
It's a handheld game versus a big,
sure.
PS5
but
game.
But not even that.
It's a tough comparison.
I remember feeling it was a little bit like, been there, done that.
I think you should go back. I think this is, of all the games, this is the game that's gotten the bad rap over the years of Mario 3D games.
Have I not?
People were so in love with Super Mario 3D Land when it first came out. And it's like 3D World is kind of a bigger, better version of that game has kind of been forgotten.
Yeah.
But I think Astro Bot is better.
I think Astro Bot's better too.
Now, Super Mario 3D World.
I think 3D World is better.
This is one that I really had a hard time with. And I still don't know actually where I land. I think this is like the closest comparison to what Astro Bot is.
Right.
These kind of like self-contained levels.
Worlds and levels.
That will often have kind of like, a central gameplay thing that you're doing. World has the multiplayer going for it, which is a positive.
Very positive. World has the charm of World is so high. Like it's just there's so much like I don't know, there's like a happiness and Astro Bot has that too, but
I don't know if it's a cop-out for me to say that. I'm going to say it's a tie. Because I've been thinking about this for days and I literally cannot decide. So I'm going to say it's a tie.
I do think World has a little bit of an edge over Astro Bot. But it's very close. And I agree with you that those two are probably if you're comparing Astro Bot to a 3D Mario game, that is probably the closest comparison.
Yeah. I have a hard time with that
one. And they do have a lot of sort of like, Astro Bot's really good at this, but 3D World's really good at that. And but Astro Bot has this going for it. And then 3D World has this going for it. It's got a lot of kind of tug of war there, but there's something about the charm of 3D World that maybe it's the cats. I don't know. I just can't get over it. I think it's just
there's also there's all the post game stuff that really ramps up the challenge,
and the controls are so tight on that game. It's just so slick.
Astro Bot has other side stuff that is challenging in its own right, but I don't feel like it's as much of a game as I just can't decide.
You can't decide.
I can't decide. Super Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey's better.
Odyssey is better.
Odyssey is better. Come on.
I think by a pretty
large margin. Yeah.
Just like, all those worlds are so big. There's so many things you can do. There's all the cappy stuff.
The cappy mechanics are next level.
The truly advanced, pro gamer, super player, cappy mechanics.
Yes.
Like there's nothing in Astro Bot that even
comes close to that.
To that at all.
Yeah, and then that I mean, I just feel like the exploration and the sort of the vastness of Odyssey was really unmatched.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then lastly, I don't know if this is appropriate to compare, but Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, I mean,
not really a full-on,
but let's say
full-size game.
Envision that this game gets expanded into a full-size game.
I do think the next Mario game is going to take a lot from Bowser's Fury.
Yeah.
And I like Bowser's Fury a lot.
I do too. But I still think Astro Bot's better. Yeah. Bowser's Fury, even if I, kind of expand that game in my head into a full game, the concepts of it is still quite linear and pretty small in scope of
Bowser's Fury?
Yeah.
I think you need to go back and play that one too.
You're doing some stuff and then you do the kaiju battles. It's sort of like a very cyclical gameplay loop. And that's fine. I think it was a very fun gameplay loop.
But don't you think if the scope of that game was bigger, they would have introduced a little bit more than that? Than the big Bowser? I think they would have.
It's hard to imagine what it would be. I imagine it'd be just more of the same, but with different levels and different challenges. So,
well, that's called a video game.
If we're looking at it like that, then I think Astro Bot's still better because it has more.
I am going to say strictly due to the scope, Astro Bot is better than Bowser's Fury. I think if they had built Bowser's Fury into a full-size game, like the way in my mind I see them scaling that, that could have really gone toe-to-toe and been better, but it's not. It's a smaller game.
Yeah.
So we just said that about half of these games,
50%,
Astro Bot
I think Astro Bot is better.
Is better than that. Is that surprising to you?
It's not, actually.
No.
It's not. Because when I played Astro Bot, I immediately already had that sense, oh wow, this can go toe-to-toe with many 3D Mario games.
No more of these baby games. We got Astro Bot now.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got Astro Bot.
Now we are doing our game. I don't want you to spoil anything, but we're doing our Game of the Year podcast in a few weeks. Is this doing this evaluation going to change the way that you view Astro Bot?
I don't think so.
Seems like Astro Bot's a shoo-in to be, somewhere on that list.
Yeah, I think
but just having this context of wait, it's better than all these classic Mario games.
Hey,
maybe I have to give it fill in the blank spot.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to. Maybe I don't have a choice now.
That is a good way to evaluate it, honestly, because you need to give it context, but also context into all the other games you played this year, right? So, yeah. But Astro Bot is 100% one of the best games I played this year. So it will end up, I'm sure, somewhere on that Game of the Year list.